welcome back, man. It's kind of been a while. We kind of took a hiatus there for a while, but hey, boys are back in town. We finally got all four of us here. I mean, that had been even longer since we had everybody here. We won't name who's been missing.
Isaac.
Isaac's missing right now.
He froze.
I told you this is internet.
It was so hard. I don't know if it was me, but damn.
Oh, there you go. You're back. But yeah, this is the kickoff episode of season 3. Where hopefully we can start these rolling back up again. For those who are just listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we are currently recording these as well, and they will be posted. So for the first time, you're gonna get to see the interactions that we have, even though they're Zoom calls right now. But you're gonna see a little more of the craziness on why we're saying what we're saying, or the little remarks that we have in the background. Boys, how we been?
Swell.
Solid.
Reading a lot. Trying not to go crazy. Talking to my dog.
Yep.
Going for runs.
So you've already gone crazy.
Eating food.
Yeah. Solid.
Noah?
I've not been doing a ton of reading. I've gotten more into reading this last week. I do audio books instead of physical reading, because the actual act of reading puts me to sleep immediately. So yeah, when I've been doing like cardio on the treadmill, I've been listening to stuff. Started listening to Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Aurelius is how you say it, I think. Was a Roman emperor, super like famous philosophy book. So it's super hard to understand. I get like every other sentence, but yeah. So doing that, sleeping a lot, eating a lot, working out. That's about it. Waiting for the world to start again.
Right.
Isaac?
Yep, I'm about the same. Been reading, playing lots of video games, doing lots of side jobs too, like lots of like weird landscaping jobs, like painting my grandma's house and mowing lawns here and there too. So just trying to keep busy for sure.
Dude, if you're bored, you can come help pour concrete at my house.
No, I've got my work cut out for me already.
We can put a little bit of muscle on you for once.
Oh, you think so? All right.
See, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad because usually when we would record, at our secret location on campus, like
people don't
Irvin,
see Isaac cry.
Right. And like Irv and Brock would be talking, and you wouldn't be able to see me and Isaac looking at each other, and Isaac just randomly laughing about something, and then you don't even know what it is. He just sits there and starts laughing.
Because you give me the looks, man. You give me the look, and it's just like, ooh, it just cracks me up.
Yeah.
If people didn't realize that Isaac was bad at like trash talking and making comebacks, they're gonna definitely see it now.
Yeah.
Hey. Yep. Yeah, I'm not very good at coming back. Sometimes I'll think of like a really good one, and then I'll be like, you know what? That was a little too harsh, Isaac. Maybe you should not say that one. And then I
don't think they're too harsh. I think they expose you too much.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's the thing. When you start doing that, like when we have like the secret unreleased episode we have of me and Isaac basically just talking shit for 45 minutes. It's like a boxing match. See what Isaac thinks. He's like, oh, I'm gonna throw this right hook and it's gonna land, because he thinks, oh, but I don't want to do that. It's too harsh. But the thing is, dude, you're gonna throw that right hook and that's just block right here. No, it comes with the uppercut. He's not ready for that counter and not ready for the counter.
Isaac likes to approach things like he's, fighters kind of feel out the first round. Isaac feels out all 12 rounds and
all 12.
Just never gets to the punch.
I played for the second battle, dude. On the first battle, I'll take you now, dude. Yep.
Sits here and just does this the whole time.
He just doesn't want to get knocked
And
out.
then he takes a punch, and then
pounds.
he takes a punch, and then he goes, "Oh, dude, that was a good punch." And then he goes right back to this.
Yeah. Good punch. Yeah. I'm like that in video games too. When I'm not raging, man, I'll be like, "Yo, that was a good kill." You know, like that was awesome. Good job, man. You gotta keep that positivity around. You know, it's important, especially in the gaming community when it doesn't get appreciated as much. You know, if you're like, "Hey, good play, man."
They'll probably just think you're being sarcastic.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, for me, kind of the same. Haven't really been doing a whole lot. Same as you guys, working out, eating, kind of trying to keep myself busy. I launched my media company, so that's been a lot of fun. I've been learning a lot, kind of diving into learning more about marketing and things like that. So that's kept me pretty busy. There's a couple projects that I have in the works that I'm excited to release later on. So yeah, I have some stuff in the works, and that's kept me busy. But that's about it. I can't really do a whole lot as of right now still. So doing what I can.
Very,
sure.
very nice.
I mean, I think that's kind of that can lead us into why we kind of stepped away for a little while. I'll kind of give like my small take, and then you guys can kind of elaborate how you want to or how you perceive it. We stopped I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, maybe the end of April was probably the last episode we released. Partially was because of everything that was going on. We're kind of running out of stuff to talk about, and then we were heading into finals week, and one of us was graduating, aka Noah, and the rest of us were just trying to finish out the semester. So we thought it was best to take a step back, focus on that, considering how everything was. So we kind of took that as a chance to kind of regroup almost. I know for as far as the podcast goes, we kind of felt like we weren't giving it our best effort, and we're kind of just putting subpar content compared to what we would like to do. So for the good of the pod, we kind of took a step back, and we're like, all right, we'll revisit this at a later time, and that's kind of what we're doing now. We met up, we kind of made couple better expectations of ourselves, and kind of set better plans for the podcast in general. So I like the thumbs up over there.
Yeah, I agree.
And so now we're here. Now we're starting season 3. I'm excited to see what we kind of do going into the future and seeing how we progress throughout this season. Obviously the first thing that will change will be this, that we're recording it. And we'll be uploading this as well, so people kind of follow us along and see the behind the scenes stuff, which I think some people would have been wanting something like that, because they say like, oh, I like listening to it, but I wish I could see what you guys are doing and stuff like that. So this is kind of your chance to see that. And but yeah, mainly I'm excited. We apologize for stepping away for so long, but I think we'll be back better than ever. I don't know what you guys feel about that.
I mean,
yeah. Brad, go ahead.
I think Irv just kind of hit it on the head. We're all going into finals, and then it was just like, I mean, I definitely got the feeling that each podcast as each week goes, either one of us was gone or else we were just very much repeating ourselves, just because of the COVID-19 pandemic was kind of taking over social media, and there just wasn't a lot of things to talk about, I guess. And so I think taking a step away and then coming back, and we all feel like we have a better format now too, which we'll talk about that, I'm sure, at a later time, and just like more structured conversations, but we'll still of course go on our tangents, because that's what we are. I guess.
Yeah, I know like for me, I'm kind of like I'm kind of like a I do better when I kind of have like a ritual going. So like I kind of struggle in like that adjustment period. So like start of semesters, for like example, I usually kind of like start out slow. So I know like just kind of adjusting to like being back at home and like us not like when we were recording it at school, we had like a set time every week to where like we could plan around like, like Thursday afternoons, this is when we're going to record it. So I think that adjustment period kind of like set me back in time in terms of like being motivated and like being having time set aside, because basically we were just kind of going like week by week. We're like, hey, can we try and record this day? And then we'd be like, oh yeah, that should work. And then all of us would have something come up. So not primarily me. It seemed like every time we wanted to record, I would think I was going to be free and I'd end up having something going on. So I think that adjustment period kind of played a big part. And then like you said, it just kind of felt like we were being redundant and didn't really have like a direction we really wanted to go in. And it's kind of a catch-22 because there's plenty of stuff for us to talk about, but like all of it kind of pales in comparison to like everything that was going on. It's like no matter everything was being consumed by the fact that, like quarantine and all that stuff. So now that I think the initial like shock has kind of worn off of everything that's been going on, and we're kind of getting more used to this current state of things, we'll be able to get back to what we normally do. I know for me it was hard to like really put out quality content over the phone. Like even like we've had, I think this is our second or third Zoom meeting, and it's just already so much more productive being able to like kind of like actually see it, feel like we're kind of back in a room together type thing. So
not having Dunkin' Donuts also probably played a key role.
I got some, man. Well, sleepy.
Our unofficial podcast sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. It got us through a lot of sessions, that's for sure. It was definitely the ritual.
Thanks.
all the donuts that we're missing out on now too.
Oh yeah.
My God. Dude,
the muffins are the go-to, dude. The muffins are fire.
That was good, man.
Well, like remember that one time where Isaac brought what you bring, Isaac? Was it banana bread?
Oh yeah. I brought everybody chocolate chip banana bread. Yep. You betcha.
And we let it sit there in the middle for a while because we didn't trust your skills.
I was super salty, man. I was just like, why? No, it was super good too, and I was so proud of it, man. And it was super big, and nobody was fucking eating it, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you when I say this, and I want you to look at me, man. And I want you to look at me when I say this, bro, because I was butthurt as fuck when nobody was taking it.
Dude,
We did it.
I know. Hey, I wasn't done.
I had a piece.
And then somebody, I think it was Brock. I think Brock had
I grabbed a piece. I was like, I'm hungry right now. That looks good. Why not?
And then he was like, you know what? It's pretty good, man. And I was like,
it was good.
That's what I needed today. That's all I needed.
But the thing is I wanted to eat the banana bread the whole time, but I wasn't going to be the guy to take the first piece. I wasn't going to be that guy.
It doesn't matter, man.
No, it does matter.
I took the first piece.
It wasn't.
It's like that, man. I'm eating it.
It was like the $2. Like the $2. It's a principle thing. I was not going to be the one to break the ice. I was gonna respectfully let someone else go first before I ate 3/4 of the banana bread, because I ended up having a ton of that banana bread.
It was super good. Yeah.
It's almost as bad as remember when that girl was just going around everybody offering free donuts?
Oh, that was weird.
It was right in the midst of this breaking out, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the last.
Want your donuts?
Wasn't that the last time we were recording together?
In person?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like when they were starting to shut everything down. It's like
I think Cam was already shut down.
Ampus was shut down that day, I think.
Yeah, because I think I went and lifted after that, and that's when they sent out
everyone. Because I was working that time, and everyone was in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got the email that they were canceling class that next week, and then that spring break, and then the rest was online. Yeah.
Dang, that feels like forever.
So walking around,
Crazy.
it does. Walking around offering people free donuts Like, well, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, I don't want you.
Let's have a little self-awareness and just kind of be like, you know what? This is probably not the time for me to be doing this.
Hey, we safely distanced ourselves from her and her donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that was one of the last. I'm gonna have to find a way to break back into the rec and get some lifts in, 'cause I think that was one of the last times I got to lift at the rec. Man, that's.
No, I miss the rec a lot.
Oh yeah.
I can get
Yeah,
you
but
back
you're
in there, man.
That's what I'm saying. You're not graduated, dude. How am I gonna be able to get back in there?
Magic.
We can get you in. I can get
There's
you
lit.
in. Not them.
There's
I
lit.
can.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna be in there, and someone's gonna be like, "Yo, didn't you graduate?" And I'll be like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Just have your
Now the-
headphones on and looked really pissed.
Yeah, nobody talks, especially with the beard, because the beard's back, man.
The beard is back. The beard's back. But
yeah.
Brock, you know that's my go-to, dude. I throw the hood on and I have the headphones, and no one wants to talk to me anyway.
Mm.
That's key. Look a lot meaner than you actually are.
You have to.
Unless you're Isaac, and then people come and spot you when you're doing heavy
Oh,
squats.
randomly.
Fucking story, man. Did I already tell that story on this podcast? I had to, right?
Yeah.
I did. Okay. Yeah. 2 guys came up and spotted me when I didn't need it. So
That's annoying.
that's the story.
Twice.
Twice, not once.
Bro, yeah, I think I told that story on the podcast too, when the dude randomly came up to me and was talking to me in the middle of me doing one of my top sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I didn't ask for help, you didn't ask for help, I didn't ask for help, leave us alone. Like,
Right, exactly.
For sure. Yeah, we'll have to see when it opens back up. I'm not entirely sure.
When everything just opens back up.
Yeah. We'll see if it'll be worth it or not. It'll be such a pain in the ass when we go back. And,
God, yeah.
it'll be much harder to like keep things open than it is to just have them closed. Especially with like you know, we work in the weight room, so managing that is going to be a pain.
Well, keeping everything like sanitized, cleaning, it'll probably be some type of social distancing thing where
Mm-hmm.
10 people per area. Because there's still going to be restrictions because that's what most gyms are still doing, I'm pretty sure, because that's what the Y, I'm pretty sure, is doing.
Yeah.
here, I'll be right back. I gotta let my dog out.
All right, have fun.
Good luck.
Won't be talking any tea on you at all.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm leaving my headphones in. I'm listening, so don't think you can get away with that.
I can't see.
All right.
So,
Well, yeah, Isaac.
what is your overall view on the break and then kind of like how we're coming back season 3? Like, how do you feel about season 3, I guess?
I think it's going to be a lot more productive, and I think that's going to be very advantageous going forward and producing us to be the best potential that we can. But yeah, moreover,
And on a big word?
I was trying so hard, dude. But yeah, no, I actually do think that extra planning is going to help us out a lot and just produce better content for everybody, which is something that I think everybody wanted. So, and it's a lot more fun for us when we have a lot more structure and we don't have to kind of go in blind. But yeah, I just think things are just going to keep getting better, which is awesome. But yeah, this quarantine thing's going to be pretty crazy. I think shit's going to go real ham in our lifetime. And I am just, to be honest, so excited. Like, just antsing. Because right now, guys, this is the boring part, you know? Like, I am really trying to be, like, you know, kind of resting a little bit, you know? Like, because shit's about to go ham, I feel like, you know? Like, some crazy shit's going to
What context you are in, but...
Okay, context. Okay, so, like, Elon Musk's going to start putting chips in people's brains, right? Boom, that's crazy. Multi-dimensions, boom, crazy. Murder hornets, boom, crazy. Like,
UFOs?
Boom, crazy. Like, you know, how much crazy shit has happened. And, like...
And we're in May.
You what?
I said we're in May. There's still 7 months to go.
I know, man, and it's crazy, and I think things are going to go really, really wild, and I'm really excited to see where everything goes and like what's going to happen and like our return to work programs or like what's going to happen at the rec or like even like finishing out the college career, like how that's going to look and all that stuff. Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Isaac, do you want me to burst your murder hornet bubble?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to anyway.
I mean, why? No, you have to though now. Like now.
Okay, so from everything that I've seen about it,
Yeah.
they found one in North America. They didn't find a hive. They found one. And so like you assume that it came over probably like on a ship, like some cargo or whatever, because they can't make that flight. And it was so overblown. So I'm pretty sure they don't even call them murder hornets in Asia. So they're just the giant Asian hornet is what they're called. And they're native to Japan. And the murder hornet thing was like 100% the media just overblowing it.
Oh, they have nothing else to talk about, so.
Right. Well, and then I don't know.
Huge.
Have you ever
see those things?
Have you ever seen like the Coyote Peterson videos where he like gets like stung by like the
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like he got stung by one of them, and like it caused like a severe reaction. But if you get stung by one, it's gonna hurt. But it's not. So it's not like, you know, obviously, unless you're allergic, it's not gonna kill you. I mean, you get stung by 6 or 7 of them, you might be screwed. But it's just kind of way overblown. And they're supposedly like they're not like you know, like the Africanized killer bees that are super territorial and will just you know, they're not just like viciously attacking people. And so like
not yet.
Yeah, and so say not yet. So say they're say like they found one, and say there is a hive in North America. Supposedly the experts that like would have gone and like researched the area, they like, as long as it's monitored, then there shouldn't be like a widespread outbreak of Japanese giant hornets in the US. So there's just an example of North American media doing what it does best in enticing fear out of stuff that shouldn't be blown up. But yeah, so there's let me burst your bubble there, Isaac.
That's okay. No, don't worry about it. I thought it was exciting, you know, but yeah, because I saw that video too of that guy that got stung, and that shit looked horrible. So.
Well, and then with the whole Elon Musk thing, you know, they're making those chips because they're trying. See, here's a good example.
I was just trying to flatten like end Isaac season 3.
Go ahead. I'm listening, bro.
No. This one, but if you haven't watched the Elon Musk podcast, I know Isaac has.
Oh, yeah.
The primary use for those chips, they're trying to address like brain injuries, right? You know, and so he, off the top of his head, predicted that in the next 5 to 10 years we wouldn't have to talk to each other. But I mean, I think that's overzealous. And then you think about it, you have to convince millions of people to put a chip in their head.
If they're like Isaac, they're gonna be down.
Yeah, but kill switch.
Not people that are just like would be willing to do it. I mean,
do you want someone else controlling you?
I'm not.
How do you know it works like that? And what if that is the wave of the future?
They can read. If you can talk between people, what couldn't it do?
It's just giving up all your privacy. I mean, at the end of the day, if you had unlimited consciousness, what's the need for privacy?
Bro, but here's the deal. Like it's like your phone. Like your phone is so easily hacked Imagine having a chip connected to your head, literally connected to the thing that controls all of your thoughts, all your motor functions, and then some dude 40 countries away can hack in and be like, oh, and now you can't walk anymore.
Well, I mean, it's like people can obtain so much information about you over your usage of your phone throughout the many years that you've used it.
Facts. So
But
why
it's
do I
not
want
just
them
privacy.
into my head?
Right.
Why do they want them in my head?
It's your whole
Well, I
body
mean, it's
function.
that from
an opinion choice then. You don't have to get in your head. But I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I think the potential benefits will far outweigh the potential negatives.
A negative of a kill switch where it's just like, brain turn off, dead.
No, but I'm telling you that is
There's
worth
being
it.
some like dope benefits.
I can talk to Irv without using my phone, but I can already talk to Irv using my phone.
Yeah.
Someone can kill me.
Okay, but you're like exclusively looking at only one aspect of the potential device.
It's gonna be so great because like 90% of the population is gonna put a chip in their head, and then some shit's gonna go down, and then I'm gonna be sitting there leading that revolution of normal ass people decided not to put a chip in their head. People are already worried about the government spying on them using their phone. People legit put stickers on their laptop computers because they don't want people cracking into their laptops. And
Yeah.
No, we're gonna put a chip in our head and that makes no sense.
Yeah. That's okay.
Because we'll check in 10 years and see where we're at.
Yep, that's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not in a position to explain it to you, so I'm just gonna wait.
I'm telling you, it's the start of the Terminator movies. They're starting to make artificial intelligence, all that shit. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
Partner that up with the confirmed UFOs and the parallel universes. It's like we're heading there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be that dude in the woods with the 4-foot-long beard, and everyone's like, "That guy's crazy," but then
Crossbow.
he's the one that was right all along.
You're like Woody Harrelson in 2012. You know how he's hidden out in the RV.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You heard it from Charlie. You heard it here first from Charlie. Yeah, I love it. That's one of my like guilty pleasure movies because really that movie sucks, but I love it.
It's just entertaining.
Really, that movie sucks.
It's like Twister. The movie Twister is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's not a good movie. I watched it last week. It is not a well-made movie, but I love it.
I think those movies are like the best though, because they're just like you can always watch them. You know what I mean?
Right.
First topic.
Right.
What?
First topic.
Well, that was our first topic. We kind of just wrapped all that up. But to get to what the main thing we were going to talk about, you know, what we captioned as the world's strongest feud, and surprisingly, it's not between Isaac and Noah yet. It's that's for a later time.
Like he's not.
No, we're talking about the Eddie Hall and Thor's, boxing match is going to come up next year, right? It's next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
2021.
year and a half. Yeah.
So, there's a lot behind that, and it's really escalated as of recently. There's a lot more media attention to it now than before. You had to be like in that kind of strongman or like weightlifting world to have even like heard about it, but now it's kind of up in the main echelons of stuff that gets talked about since there's nothing else to talk about. So Isaac's our expert on this, so he's going to give a quick rundown of kind of how this all transpired, and then we'll kind of give our opinions.
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of the story recently has kind of picked up because a lot of people's reputations are being put on the line. Like referees, like the whole strongman sports reputations being put on the line, and these very high-level athletes with a lot of ego. Like when they get called cheats, I mean, it's going to be pretty explosive, and they take that really into heart, and it's a big deal to them. But in 2017 was the World's Strongest Man, where Eddie Hall won, I believe. I think it's 2017. He won over Thor. Thor got second, and Brian Shaw got third, I believe. And so there was some kind of foul play that came out of this video that just recently came out by Official Strongman, I think is the YouTube plug. But Eddie Hall also made a video about it on his channel too. But the video was basically outlining the 2017 World's Strongest Man, where there was an event where Thor had some kind of different form. It was the log lift, I think. It was
Viking press.
Viking press. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Viking press. Yeah. But yeah, he just did a thing called double dipping, where it's basically mimicking a push press instead of having soft knees is an easy way to put it too. Not
so yeah, for people that don't know, like the Viking press, basically you have two bars right above your shoulders, and you have to start. The weight has to go all the way to the ground, all the way to its starting point, and then you're allowed like a little bit of give in your knees when you go to press it. But once you press it, your knees have to be locked and stayed locked.
Yeah.
And then you have to lock your elbows out. And so like double dipping would be a break in those knees for a little bit more of like a push press, like Isaac said, to get that weight all the way up.
Yeah.
And
I don't guarantee it, but I might put a clip in if you're watching this on the YouTube that kind of shows what that is.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so there was a little call to question on Thor's part on that lift, where Eddie Hall ultimately won that event. But yeah, he got called for double dipping, and he posted the video, and the referee stands by his word, and it's kind of up to discretion. In my personal opinion, he was kind of a little soft on some of the lockouts. I think that might have been just like maybe a mobility thing, like maybe he just couldn't really lock it all the way out. I bet he could though, but I think he was just kind of going for speed, and he was going a little fast on the down calls. A lot of those earlier on reps when he was just kind of getting too into it. But on that last one specifically that he called the no lift, I felt that his knees were pretty straight, but on some of the other ones I could see where he might have called it. But
well, it's weird because if you watch the video, like the strongman video that it put out, the referee was explaining to Thor why he took it away from him. Mm-hmm. And he said that he had warned him earlier because he wasn't. It's like when you they're doing powerlifting and you have to wait for the calls for the referee. So once Thor locks it out, you have to wait until the judge says down before you can go back down with the weight. Yep. And so supposedly, according to the judge, he had warned Thor like 2 or 3 times that he was going down too soon.
Yep.
And I like you said, I don't think it was because he couldn't hold it up there. I think he was just in a rhythm and he was trying to bust out reps. But it's weird because he didn't warn him about double dipping earlier. So No. He warned him about double dipping pre. But what he's saying was that he because like in the explanation he was like, I warned you 2 or 3 times before I took a rep away. But he took a rep away for something else that he was warning him about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he warned him about the down calls. He didn't warn. There wasn't anything about double dipping prior to that rep.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and like I like Eddie a lot. I really became like a Thor fan after seeing like his videos with Juji Mufu. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's another internet personality, super athletic, super funny and strong, strong guy. So like I'm more of a Thor fan, I would say, than Eddie, so I'm probably a little biased towards it. I can see in the video why he would consider double dipping. It just kind of seemed weird to me that he decided to take that final rep away. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it was Thor felt pretty devastated by it, and he called Eddie a cheat for having the referees kind of set up the events to favor him over other athletes because the head judge is from the UK, I believe.
Well, yeah, and like me and Isaac have discussed this a lot. It had been like Eddie had announced that he was going to be trying for the world record deadlift.
Yeah,
like it was like the kind of like the headlining thing going on around World's Strongest Man, and so Thor felt like the events were set up to be proactive for Eddie to be able to pull 500 kilograms.
Right.
They were trying to set up the events in a way that he wouldn't be that his pulls wouldn't be totally wouldn't be totally shot by the time they got to that event. But yeah, like me and Isaac texted a little bit. Like Thor went before Eddie, and so Thor got 13 reps? Was he given 13 reps or given 12 reps?
I think he got 14, and then Eddie got 15.
He got 14. Yep. So he got 14. The ref took away the 15.
The 15th, yep.
And so Eddie followed Thor, which is always you always want to go second in that case because then you know how many you have to get. And Eddie got 15. In all fairness, I think if Thor would have got 15, I think Eddie had enough in the tank to get 16. I don't think wasn't going to get more, which is probably where Thor was most out of line. I think Thor got caught up in the emotion of being upset, and I think he went after it. I think he went after Eddie. I don't think he had any right to go after Eddie, but I think he was upset about how things transpired and kind of let some of that residual anger go at Eddie. And then at that point, it's hard to it's hard to go back on it once you say something like that. But
because then Eddie started defending himself, and then
and so go ahead.
Brock cut out, so.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut Isaac off anymore because Isaac's the one that's giving us the breakdown there. So I'll shut up and listen.
Oh, you're good. No, you're good. And that was pretty much it. I mean, now it's just like, who do you think would win?
Well, that's really the first half of it, isn't it? Because I feel like their beef was kind of low key until recently when Thor went after the deadlift
for the home gym. Yeah. So it initially kind of sparked from Eddie Hall calling out Thor for lifting the new world record at a home gym with I don't know, a home environment. The only question is that he just didn't do it in the competition. I mean, they weighed all the weights there. There was an official judge. The lift was legit by all means, but it wasn't in a competition. So
and so it's not. Is it an official strongman record if it doesn't happen in a competition?
Nope. I don't believe so.
So it's the official deadlift world record, but it's not the strongman record then? Does that make
that's a really good question. I'm not really too sure, but I would assume no.
So, because Thor was before the pandemic, Thor was planning on attempting the lift in competition, right?
Yeah.
Because he had gauged all this training towards that. And then once the pandemic happened, he was like, I'm already this far into the program. I'm not going to just ditch this attempt, right? That's kind of how it went down.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. But now they're going to box over all this shit. So,
things are
going to happen between now and then.
So, I wasn't sure how serious the beef was because Eddie posted a good luck thing on Instagram to Thor. Before he attempted it, and it didn't seem like it was in jest. It seemed pretty lighthearted and sincere. And
so I think the shit really popped off after
when Thor got on there and
after he lifted it, and then 2 hours after he made the lift is when he shouted it out, and he was like, Eddie Hall, I want to box you, sign this contract. I bet you won't, and
It must have been in the works for a while too, because Thor was I've already signed the contract. It's a 7-figure contract. Let's do this. Quit. He basically was quit dodging me and sign the contract, which was it went from being this is kind of a lighthearted beef about it, and then it got seemed super. I think it's
you could throw it all the way back to KSI and Logan Paul. Did they really have that much beef, or do they do it for the millions and millions of dollars that they got for it?
I think it's the Conor McGregor formula. I mean, and obviously other people do it, but Conor McGregor showed that if you can talk enough shit, even if you don't mean any of it, if you can talk enough shit and make people believe that you really hate this dude, they're gonna see it. They're gonna watch it.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
That publicity that you just get from just doing all that, and then like Isaac said, the millions of dollars, and I mean it's bringing a lot more viewership to the strongman and stuff like that as well. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have seen the Q&A that Brian Shaw was having. He kind of hit on this whole thing, and he was talking about like the boxing match, and he's like, yeah, that had been in the works months prior, and they knew that they were going to announce it after he got the deadlift. It was just kind of like they knew that was going to be that setup to kind of kick it off.
Right.
So I think, yeah, they probably don't like each other the most, but I think they're definitely like, look, we can make over $1 million, which is way more than we'll ever make doing strongman. So why not? Let's go see what we could do or whatever.
Well, and then you can just tell like that official strongman video was meant just to add fuel to the fire, because like if you see like the start of that video is Eddie is holding like the world's strongest man trophy, and he turns to his left and shakes Brian Shaw's hand, and then it cuts and he turns to his right and he goes to shake Thor's hand, and it's like slow motion, and so it looks like Thor like kind of refuses to shake his hand. And then so like Thor's strength coach posted like the actual video, and in the actual video Eddie turns to his right first and shakes Thor's hand, and Thor like turns and looks at Eddie, and there might be like a brief pause, but it wasn't like a I'm not gonna shake your hand pause. It was just kind of like like, and shakes his hand, and then Eddie turns to his left and shakes Brian Shaw's hand. So like they edited the video and everything to make it look like Thor was out there just blatantly disrespecting Eddie.
Right.
So I guess like a few things on that, because there's no like governing body, right? Of strongman is kind of what I've taken away. So with the way events are set up, I think that kind of shows like why they might need a better system in place. I mean, the fact that if events got put in a fashion for them to favor Eddie, right? Like, shouldn't that just be standardized? Aren't the events always in the same order? Or like, why wouldn't they be in the same order as normal?
Well, in the events change from year to year. So like 2017 Strongman is not the same events as 2018 Strongman.
And they're too. Like Arnold always has the big deadlift, you know, like.
Right. Yeah, so like I know like that year they had like a plane pull that year, you know, where they have a rope and they have a plane. Like they don't do that every year. I agree. There needs to be something more standardized to where you can't, because I guarantee I'm not even saying it's for Eddie. I think if Thor was making a big deal about this 501 kilogram deadlift, I think going into that they would have tailored the events to help Thor out too. I think it just makes sense for the sport, like, you know, to give that lifter the best opportunity to try and make headlines. Like, I honestly think it was Thor being caught up in the heat of the moment that sparked a bunch of stuff. I don't know. When it comes to actual boxing match, I don't like Eddie Hall is a beast, and he was showed that if he puts his mind to it, just like me and Isaac have talked about this, like while we've been lifting, supposedly working up into the 500 kilogram deadlift in training, Eddie had never pulled more than like 475 kilograms. And so to make a 25-pound kilogram jump in competition, he did so much like hypnotherapy and sports therapy that went into it, where he supposedly had like had created like a pinch point in his hand where when he hit that pinch point, and I think we might have talked about this on the podcast before, now I think about it. Yeah, you know, kind of it like when we were talking about like the Max Out songs and kind of like the emotional connection. You know, it literally put Eddie in a place of like fight or flight, and so you can't take anything away from Eddie Hall. He pulled 500 kilograms and he did it fair and square. Now I think Thor made it look easy. Like he struggled. Obviously, it's 501 kilograms, but like if he had to
like struggle, you know.
Like, Eddie struggled. Like Eddie, I'm pretty sure they took Eddie to the hospital, didn't they?
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. He was fucked up. Yeah.
He talked about how he like almost died doing that, and Thor just ripped that shit up.
Interviews like an hour after.
Dude, it wasn't even an hour. I watched the live stream. It was like 15 minutes. He went and did interviews. They had a camera on him the whole time. Like he walked over there and hugged his girlfriend, and he kind of looked like he was thinking about maybe going up, and then he just like and took his wraps off and everything.
He's gonna have a son now too. She's pregnant.
Crazy. But I don't
30-pound baby.
dude.
And yeah, and like I was gonna say, like not to take anything away from Eddie, because like he obviously shown that he has like the mental fortitude and like the passion to like do it. I don't see any way that he beats Thor in a boxing match.
Yeah. 6'7", Thor, 300 pounds. Are
Dude,
they?
he's 6'9".
Yes.
6'9".
Are they doing some type of weight thing, or is it just?
I don't think so.
I know Thor's gonna drop a lot of weight. I know Eddie already has dropped a lot of weight since he retired from.
Because he retired in 2017. He retired,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
What's Eddie now?
Yeah, I mean, Eddie's super lean, and he's been boxing for a while, like at least over a year. I know he's been posting on his Instagram, but
Yeah, but Thor is 6'9",
Yeah.
and he's 200. I think he was like 200 kilograms.
Damn.
His
He's
reach is going to be so much
he weighs
longer.
440 pounds. Yeah.
There's just no
Like,
way.
Eddie's not a small dude, but he's a small dude compared to other strong men. Like he's
Mhm.
5 inches shorter than Thor, and
Yep.
at this point, he's probably over 100 pounds lighter than Thor.
Right.
Just in the reach, I just don't see it being very much of a competition.
So are you saying this is gonna be like a 1 round, or?
But Eddie's got the underdog, and he
Are you
admits.
saying Are you saying Thor's gonna knock him out, or is it gonna go?
It's going to be like Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren.
Okay.
Mountain's going to come out and just one knee right to the face. Out.
Drop.
6 seconds.
I think it would be way more interesting if it was like MMA and not boxing, man. Because like,
it's so much. Dude, that's so.
I don't
unsafe,
understand
though.
why all
That would definitely put Thor at an
kind of
advantage.
box, man, but they don't do MMA. Like MMA, I feel, is like a truer test to see who's better.
Yeah, but that's so much more work for them to try to learn
Yeah.
to do mixed
What the
martial
fuck?
arts.
That's the point. That's fine. Like you learn,
But dude,
like if you learn the wrong thing, like you're dead. Natural selection. Man. Like it's like you shouldn't have tried to fight me then. You know.
but the thing is you have to get those guys to agree to that fight too. Like boxing, you
Right.
can get messed up boxing. Like, people have died in the boxing ring,
Oh, yeah.
obviously. But like, you start throwing elbows and knees, you start putting people in chokeholds and arm bars. Like, that shit
Right.
is serious.
Oh,
Well,
for
because at the end of the day, it's not their that boxing's not their career.
Mhm.
They're just doing it because the formula brings a lot of money.
right.
I'm surprised, like, that they're pushing this off as much as they are. Like, I get it; they need to train and kind of get into that shape. But like in a year and a half, the way we are as a society, like we won't even care anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they'll probably pick back up. I think it'll lose momentum real soon, unless they keep it alive, man. I mean,
I
fuck.
don't know.
Logan Paul
they
and
read
KSI kept their shit alive for a long time. So did
Those are YouTube.
McGregor and Mayweather.
yeah, but McGregor and Mayweather are like known fighters, right? Like, it's just like the strongman is such a small community that I just don't think people are gonna care as much as they hope they're gonna care by then.
Right, and a lot of people are really hurt too that he's no longer going to be competing for
Yeah.
the next year and a half.
Yeah, that's what I was saying was like he's in his prime, and he just showed that if he dedicates himself like that, he can pull he pulled 501 kilograms. Like Eddie's 500 kilogram pull was what 25 kilograms heavier than the closest anyone else has ever gotten,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Thor just did that. Like, can you imagine if he got 2 more years of just fully dedicating himself to that craft? It'd be incredible to see. But
Well,
the thing is,
certainly talks of other people that are going to attempt more than Thor did.
yeah,
There's like a Russian guy, I can't remember his name, that's apparently looking to go like 520, I think, 520 kg. And
So
it's just like, damn, that's a 19 kg jump, like, fuck. But
the thing is I honestly don't I don't think that it's gonna die off, because I think Eddie is kind of like that, one of the first, not Eddie, Thor's one of like the first like transcendent strongmen.
Sure.
Where like if it was like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw, like those guys are really well known, really well respected within the powerlifting and strongman community.
Mm-hmm.
But like they don't have that national appeal. Like Thor is the mountain. Like everyone knows who Thor is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and now that he's taking that spotlight that he has and being like, oh, by the way, you don't know who Eddie Hall is, he's this dude. He's a cheat, and I beat his world record. So let's fight about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Thor saying that he's a cheat. I don't think Eddie Hall is a cheat. He pulled 500 kilograms. I think he won. But
I think he won that fair and square, and his body paid the toll. You know,
he paid the price. He retired. I mean, he put everything into that.
truthfully.
I think it's funny that they have the beef, and then Brian Shaw just sitting in the back is like, "Well, I won 4 of these motherfuckers." So it's like, y'all can argue about winning 1. Like, I got 4.
Brian Shaw doesn't give a fuck, man. He's sitting nice right now, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and that's another question. Like, I think if Thor, I don't like blame Thor as far as a business decision. Like, you're gonna get paid millions of dollars to take this fight. Like, take the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But if Thor doesn't take a year and a half away from Strongman, I don't see anyone beating him the next 2 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the Kalewski, is that his name? The guy from the Polish guy who he's a younger strongman. Him, the Stoltman brothers, and then Martin Lischy's, like, all those guys are those guys can push Thor. But it's like this new wave of strongmen where it's like it's just taking the competition to the next level. But I don't see anyone beating Thor the next 2 years.
Mm-mm.
He already has 2. Like, he showed that he's not getting any weaker. You know, he's not very old.
Right. So you're just kind of saying, like, this boxing match could end up hurting Thor from
Thor's
potentially.
strongman legacy.
Right. Yeah.
His GOAT status for world,
Yep.
world
Because
strongman.
like you said, Brian Shaw has 4.
Mm-hmm.
But you take prime Brian Shaw versus prime Thor, and I think Thor's stronger.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, he's, and so it's like Brian Shaw has. It's like the the Michael Jordan LeBron debate, where it's like titles versus, MJ has 6 titles, and LeBron went to 8 straight titles,
Mm-hmm.
and had, he is a once in a generation athlete. So it's like, how much weight, in that GOAT status, like you said, how much weight does the actual winning of the titles go into it?
Mm-hmm.
The individual athlete himself.
Right. So it's like Thor's doing this, and you can't blame him as far as a business decision, but it's like, I mean, you stay locked in, dude, you would have 4, 5, 6 of these world's strongest men titles.
And then who knows all the other records he could have as well,
Mm-hmm.
And we sit here and we say this, it wouldn't surprise me at all that Thor takes this boxing match, goes and fights Eddie next year, goes back to strongman, and then wins 3 straight. It's just like, that's the type of guy, that's the type of athlete that he is.
True.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's kind of our take. I mean, we'll go around the room. I think I personally think Thor will win. I mean, I hope it's entertaining, but I think Thor will win. Does everybody agree with that?
Yep.
I think Thor will win. I just hope it's a actual, like, boxing match. Like, I hope it's not like a 1-round thing. Like, I just want him to go at it.
Yeah, I want to see the haymakers that they throw, because
I want to see, like, power punches all day long. Like Mike Tyson, get your hip into it and hit him.
Like Mike Tyson.
Well, I'll be interested to see how the fighting community reacts to it, because it's such like it's a pride sport. Like, it's a pride in their craft, and they don't, like, have you guys ever seen the video of Conor McGregor sparring with the Mountain?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Conor McGregor beats his ass because all the, it's just like there's so much training that goes into it that it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if people in the fighting community kind of came out and were like there was some negative publicity around, like, the KSI Logan Paul fight, because they were like, they're making a joke of our sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these guys are getting, it's like
well, because they started to come out and saying, like, they were going to become real boxers too.
Right. And it's just like, you take real fighters, like Conor McGregor at one point in his fighting career fought at 145. So he's anywhere from 145 to 185 pounds is where he's fought in his career. And you watch that video of him sparring the Mountain, and the Mountain can't touch him. And Connor, it's funny because you can kind of tell the Mountain's kind of joking around. Connor's landing real ass body shots on the Mountain, and I mean he's eating them. Like, he's a big dude, he's not gonna go down, but like it just shows you that the gap there is the bridge between being a legit ass fighter and being someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm taking Thor.
Isaac?
Yep, for sure taking Thor. Easy. Yep, he's gonna win.
All right, I'm glad we're nobody's taking the hot take of Eddie winning. So when I think the Isaac Noah feud will eventually lead to a boxing match as well. I hope so.
Oh, it needs to be.
You know, I don't want to expose him like that. I've got some weight and some power on him, so we'd have to see.
Weight on me?
Yeah, my momentum adds weight, bro. Yeah.
No.
How much you weigh right now?
I'm like 218 right now.
Yeah, never mind.
I have length, claws, intelligence.
You got the mental, Noah.
I got the mental.
You're gonna get into his head before the fight even happens. Like that's key.
I have built-in cushion on my chin too.
If we can do MMA, that'd be awesome.
I'll choke your ass out in a heartbeat.
I'd love to see it, dude.
You're such a wussy. Oh my god. Oh, I've deadlifted 600 pounds. I'm all tough.
It's 645, but it's cool. I mean, 665 would have probably been there, but I didn't.
Wasn't in competition, doesn't count.
That's fair, bro. That's fair. Yeah.
Well, all right. I think
yep.
That's something we'll follow along in season 3. See if the feud rises up enough to make that happen.
We'll have to see, man.
But yeah, that's episode 1. You know, we're back, better than ever, and we're see this man out here flexing, trying to flex.
Yeah, it was kind of hard.
I think it's just like, all right, yeah, guys, that's the episode.
Yeah, you can expect these on the Feel Good Digital Media YouTube channel. We'll post them through the Mindcation page as well. You can check them out. Otherwise, you can still check out the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify like we have before. And yeah, that wraps us up. Anybody have anything else for the good of the cause or for the people?
Peace and love.
All right.
Stay healthy.
We appreciate you all, and we'll see you again next week. Peace out.